Well, would you look at that? This guy's racing me to the Party City store to get to all of the Halloween merchandise. Perhaps he's been watching all of our videos and seeing the trend of the skeletons on the toilets. Maybe we'll find some here, maybe we won't. Let's go ahead and head on in and take a look. Looks like the theme they've got going on this year is Dr. Payne's Oddities and Curiosities. And I'm a little curious because it looks like none of the animatronics that I went to the Party City headquarters earlier this year to preview with you guys are here on display, including Dr. Payne himself, which was a very neat animatronic. I think all of these are the animatronics that we have seen in previous years. I don't know if this is just leftover stock. Maybe they're waiting to get the good animatronics. Maybe you can only buy them online. At least they do have this interesting display that shows you all of the different versions of animatronics they have available. I did buy that Embers Groundbreaker, even though it's not an animatronic. There we have Dr. Payne in the red coat. He has a fire-breathing effect with fog that was pretty neat looking. That's a sort of showstopper you need to bring the customers in the store. Let's see if the pricing on the skeleton's reasonable. $45 for the standard posable skeleton. It's about $10 higher than I think it should be. So far, I think Home Depot has had the best price on the posable skeletons. But they do have an interesting variety here. I like the pumpkin-headed skeleton. That was kind of orange. Don't know that we've seen that in other stores yet this year. But I'm almost positive we haven't seen a black skeleton. I'm a little curious as to what sort of scenery you would put that in. He just disappears into the background. I mean, even as we're walking around here, he just kind of is gone. It would be really hard to see in a dark Halloween display. Not really sure what they were going for with that. Same with the gold tone skeleton. It's like, what happened to C-3PO? But they do have a number of other skeletons throughout. Look, there's even a mermaid version, which I should have checked the pricing on that too to compare. I bought my mermaid from Oriental Trading for about $50 to $60. It's been so many years now. Speaking of Oriental Trading, they have a lot of these trunk or treat options. As much as I hate the idea of that taking the place of trick-or-treating, I'm fascinated by all the different designs you can use to decorate your car. Alright, speaking of decorations, we got some hanging decorations here, and that gray one right there, I was just commenting at Big Lots in our store walkthrough that I thought that was kind of unique. It had a little gothic look, but now I'm seeing that clearly it's being sold to multiple retailers. It looks like a lot of this hanging merchandise is the sort of thing that you can find in various stores, although I like that doll right there. That was super creepy. Most of these are very generic, and I'm a little disappointed. If Party City can make their own animatronics, they should be able to make their own decorations as well. I don't want to keep seeing the same merchandise store after store, which I might be a little biased. Shopping all these different stores for Halloween is kind of my YouTube shtick, so hopefully, if you're new to my channel, you'll give our past videos a look. We've been shopping all the major retailers as we make our way toward Halloween, checking out all the merchandise, seeing what we can incorporate into our displays, come up with some great ideas for DIYs that we can do, and product reviews, and so forth. So I would like to take a quick moment to invite you to hit that like button, and if you're interested in more of these sort of videos, hit that subscribe button too. I love these little baby serial killers. I think Spirit really had a whole line of those. That little Michael Myers was super adorable. All right, a few more hanging decor items here. That little red cloaked skeleton at the end of the shelf there, they've had that for so many years. Every year that we come in and do these store tours, because I've been doing these for at least 7 years now, they have so many of those. They're usually up on a wall or really prominently displayed. Maybe that's the one that they make for themselves. I don't know. But at this point, I wouldn't mind seeing something a little bit new. And now that I've just said that, look, we've got some pastel rats. That might be something that's a little too new, and maybe we do need to go back to the basics. The pastels is definitely, in my opinion, the wrong direction, but that's just me. Anybody else really creeped out by these rubber bugs, like that giant cockroach? I mean, it's rubber, it's fake, but I certainly don't want to touch it still. And oh gosh, I can't imagine having that somewhere in my display. It would just creep me out to no end, which is now making me think I should really go and get some for my display, because other people are going to be creeped out too, I suppose. I also really love decorating with the spiders. I'm going to do a spider invasion this year. at least in my living room. I loved that spider that had all those little baby spiders on its back. Do spiders actually do that? I don't know, but that was kind of creepy as well. I think spiders in general are one of those things that a lot of people just kind of get really freaked out by. I kind of love them because they eat all of the crazy bugs around my house. But if you've been watching again these store walkthroughs, I've talked in the past about those giant Joro spiders. They're really big and they've taken over my entire yard. They're everywhere. We had a whole bunch of them right above my front door this year. And I was debating whether or not to leave them there for Halloween because, like, I'm scared to go in and out my front door. And it would really terrify the trick-or-treaters, which, you know me, I absolutely love the idea of little children too scared to come up and get their candy. More candy for me. I'm all about that. That's good. If they run away screaming, it's like icing on the cake. But anyway, Tom got rid of the spiders. I'm so disappointed, but I'm sure they will be back. They are, like I said, they're an invasion here in Georgia. Don't worry, they're coming your way too. I think it started down south and it's just creeping up, and soon those Joro spiders are going to take over the entire country. So we're just going to have to enjoy it while we can before they eat everything and turn them into bones, just like these guys. Although honestly, I have heard that they don't actually bite, but nobody has to know that. All right, so do we see any interesting skeletons this year? There was a butterfly. Have we seen the butterfly skeleton before? Again, they're starting to go a little too overboard with all these. I don't know why they think everybody wants like this menagerie of skeleton animals in their display. I have to admit though, I did kind of like that snail, but it had like that skull as a shell. That was pretty neat. And of course there was a skeleton spider there, which might work in my display, but I'm not. Spiders that look alive and they might attack you are much scarier. I thought about that fog machine. I know it was a real quick view right there. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it is a bubbler. So it like shoots out bubbles that are filled with fog. Interesting little ghost there, but back to the fog machine. I so wanted to buy that last year. I'm still tempted to. Quick note here, I don't think Party City knows what Rocky Horror is all about. And I like that this fog machine area shows you what sort of machine you need and has a little guideline there. Anyway, I'm not really sure if I want to do the bubbler this year though. That's a lie. I know I want to do it. The question is, will the people at my party appreciate it? So if you're, again, new to my channel, I do a neighborhood Halloween party every year. All the neighbors bring their kids, we have pizza, have a little fun before they go out trick-or-treating. It's on Halloween. So I can only imagine shooting these bubbles in the air while people are eating their pizza. And that might get like on their food, or in their drinks, which is why I can't justify it. But I really want to do it because I think the kids would love it. And I think the fact that like the bubbles are filled with the fog is an amazing effect. And it would just look so cool. Plus I'm doing kind of like a water theme with pirates and my deep sea diver. And I'm going to have a swamp, like a laser swamp. Oh, it would work so well this year. But I think it's a bad idea. I need you to leave me a comment. What do you think? Would you be irritated by bubbles all around you while you're trying to eat, drink, and socialize, especially when there really isn't a whole lot of room to escape them? So anyway, enough about that. I guess let's move on. We've got some tombstones to pick from, so I think these are an interesting display. I like that one with a little coffin, but I think Home Depot has it on lock this year. These styrofoam versions just don't cut it anymore, especially if it doesn't have some sort of gimmicky effect. They're not even, well, I guess 3 for $15. I was going to say they're not even that cheap, but 3 for $15 really isn't that bad. $5 each. And I guess the Home Depot ones, like the really cool blow mold ones, or like the heavy plastic, whatever it is, they're going to be at least between 20 and 40 bucks. So slowly, I guess we can incorporate those really cool tombstones into our displays. All right, let's see what else we can decorate with outside. I do like how Party City has sectioned off a bunch of areas with like what they are. I think it gets a little confused sometimes though, because they're probably like, what section should I put some of this stuff in? But this is what they call outside decor. They do have, so that little skeleton fence, you can get that at the Dollar Tree. So no reason to spend a little bit more money here. And again, I'm not happy that all these retailers are selling the same merchandise. Also, Dollar Tree, of course, has the creepy cloth. You can't beat that price anywhere, pretty much. Although sometimes the creepy cloths that you get here are much longer, which is nicer. But again, I just buy them for the $1, which is $1.25 now, right? Just get lots of them and put them everywhere. That's what I do. I have a giant bag full of creepy cloth that I just keep adding to every year. And you can just use it again, year after year after year. I put it everywhere on top of tables. Makes a cheap tablecloth. If you want to spend a little more, you can get some of this here from the Party City. But I don't. I think the creepy cloth, it makes everything just look nice and aged and fun and Halloween and creepy. All right, if you want to go more gory, you certainly have a lot of options here. Look, we got some packaged hands to look like food. Interesting. I absolutely love this skull, though. That looks like you've just ripped the skin off and you're left with all that bloody gore. And as we get down to the bottom, we've got like the food items. I think they put all this cool stuff on the bottom shelves. It's just like thrown in there. I would have liked to look at some of that, like the ice cream, and that looked like a skull. That was pretty neat. There was a dress made out of faces. I think it was a dress. Actually, I wonder why that's not in the costume area. Love these props. So it is very gory. I like that sort of groundbreaker zombie. That would work so great in a graveyard. But it looks so unique that it's going to be hard to pair other things with it. I think if everything doesn't look similar, it's just going to look wrong, right? So you need a variety of those groundbreaker zombies to really sell the scene if that's what you're going for. And who doesn't love zombies? I know I've done that so many times, but it's hard to get it to look realistic, right? That's why sometimes I just go for the easier route. Like this year, we're doing the witches inside. Outside's a different story. But let's get back to the merchandise here. Obviously, we have lots of bloody things here. There were some bloody clings. Word of advice, those things will stain your glass. So I've been told it's kind of easy to get those stains off, but you want to be careful. The bloody hands there, bloody shoe prints. Those shoe prints I once put on my flooring just to give that, creepy effect walking through the house. Did you know that those stickers will pull up the finish off your hardwood floors? Ask me how I know. Well, thankfully, I'd used those stickers so many years that it wasn't terrible. Just a couple of spots, but, it did kind of mess up the floors, and I was very unhappy about it. I still am. So wipe your feet. I assume that says wipe your feet. Something. I guess I should have looked there. And there was a Jason. So I was looking for a Jason figure to go in my Camp Crystal Lake portion of my yard display. And I think in the past videos, I think in Spirit, I was talking about how they didn't have any Jason merchandise. So I was kind of happy to see the one there, except it looked so dark. See there, you can see it there on the bottom left. And I'm afraid you won't be able to make him out. I really want a Jason animatronic, but they're hard to find or very expensive. So I'm looking for other alternatives. If you've got any suggestions, or if you've seen any good Jason decor, let me know. I really need to find something. Only a couple of months left to Halloween. Now last year I did a sort of evil clown theme, and I got a lot of this merchandise from the Party City. A lot of those glow-in-the-dark posters or blacklight reflective posters worked so well in my display. Well, kind of well, I should say. So if you're looking for any of that carnival clown merchandise, you can certainly check it out here. You can also check out my video walkthrough last year of my outside. So you know what this means. It's time for another shameless plug. I do try and do a different display inside and out every year, so you'll find those videos on my walkthrough playlists, or just look back through the years. I've got so many videos now that, originally the channel used to be The Best Things, and we changed to Happy Haunting a couple of years ago, focusing mostly on Halloween. So for several years, we put out so many videos. Again, store walkthroughs, DIYs, product reviews, but mostly, again, my favorite are my walkthroughs. That's what I really work toward every year. And I do a couple of different videos inside and out. So check them out, especially if you want to see clowns last year, like we were just talking about. Anyway, back to the merchandise. Once again, I got to stay focused here. We've got some lighting equipment, lots of string lights, light up sort of neon effect lights. Not really sure. I never think of Party City as my go-to for Halloween lighting. Maybe the black lights. Look at that really long black light they had down there. Oh, I hate these. It's always the same. So again, merchandise that you see in all the stores Frankly, I'm tired of the singing pumpkin string light. And really, I'm not very happy with those projection effects either. They never work right for me. Quick note, I really love this bat. That's awesome. But those projection effects, it has to be really dark for them to work right. I always think they look great in the store, and I have fantastic plans to put them on my display. And then, inevitably, I can't use it. It's not dark enough. It doesn't look right. Who knows? Look at that giant pumpkin. There were a couple of different pumpkin inflatables, plus this deflated looking pumpkin. Love the look of that. It's not an inflatable, not sure why it's right here. But anyway, last year I got a 26-foot tall inflatable pumpkin that was absolutely astounding. It's got to be my favorite piece of Halloween decorations now. I used it as a backdrop for my party. It was amazing. I think it retailed for like $1,000. Thankfully, it was given to me. But for less than a quarter of that price, you could get the 15-foot tall pumpkin. So 15 feet is a really good amount of height on one of those inflatables, plus the volume that you see. That's what really makes it impressive. All right, it looks like we made it through one side of the giant Party City aisle. Now we're going to make it up the other. Half this aisle, though, was costumes. I'm not really going to take us through all the costumes that you can find at Party City. You can find an endless array at your leisure just by popping over to your local Party City. So I'm wondering actually now, do they have the Halloween cities this year? I don't think they do, at least that's what I heard. And a quick glance at Google, I'm not coming up with any. I think it's just online this year, which makes total sense because last year I did do a tour of the Halloween city. They had a nice array of Halloween merchandise.
There are few who deny it.
Sorry, I had to make sure you could hear that, even though we've heard it 100 times before in all of the other stores. But anyway, back to Party City and Halloween City. Last year, they were in the same strip mall. So you see the same merchandise in Halloween City, and then you could literally walk to the Party City and see the same merchandise again. I didn't understand it at all. I don't know who's in charge of the whole Party City company and operations, but maybe there needs to be a little bit of change. It couldn't hurt. Speaking of change, again, change this merchandise while you're at it. I mean, it's nice that you have it, but I feel like they've learned to do something and they just keep restocking the same things year after year when our tastes are changing and evolving as well. One thing we pointed out in a couple of previous videos as well is the technology aspect. Technology is improving. It's going to be the wave of the future, but yet there is nothing here. No sort of special effects. I mean, thankfully we've got our pastel, creatures and a whole little section of pastels, but is that what the Halloween enthusiast is really going for? I feel like this is a merchandise that you just happen upon to be like, oh, my little child might like this. Not any child of mine, mind you. Any child of mine better not like a pastel skeleton. That falls in the range of like the velvet pumpkins. Can't stand it. Don't need it. It's not true Halloween. And I'm going to get off my soapbox. They really need something that's actually going to draw the Halloween enthusiasts into their store to buy these products, like those animatronics. So again, we went and previewed them earlier this year. Check out the video if you want to see the fun animatronics. Some of them were very impressive. Again, that Dr. Payne, the fire-breathing fog animatronic, it's an interesting innovation. I'd love to see them innovate more. Spirit's innovated. They've got the clown with the head that will follow you, turn toward you. It's like motion tracking. Home Depot has all those servo motors that make the faces of their animatronics look absolutely realistic. Party City needs to do something like that to bring people into their stores. I mean, obviously, I think Party City's like a dying business. But why don't they have those? Why are those not at the front of the store? They should be peeking out the windows. I mean, I was kind of impressed by the tall jack-o'-lantern they had at their storefront. But really, is that what's going to draw people in? No one's going to see that and think, wow, I really need to go check out that inflatable, considering most people have very strong opinions about inflatables and don't want to see them at all. I myself don't fall in that camp. I love my inflatables, but I like them as a mix of my Halloween products, not just inflatables, right? I think animatronics and inflatables work very well alongside of each other. Where are the animatronics? Party City, you've put on your main display the same ones that we've seen for years and years. Where's the new stuff? And I apologize if it sounds like I'm ranting a little bit, but I have to find some way to fill a 25-minute video showing merchandise that we've seen in other stores and year after year. So what else am I going to talk about? Oh, here are some cups. These cups look like skulls. That's pretty not unique. Here we're coming upon some spider napkins and so forth. I actually bought these spiderweb ribbed plates last year. I bought those Happy Halloween napkins last year. I'm not seeing... Oh, I put a spell on you. Groundbreaking. Look at that, though. I love that little sort of dripping skull and the one that had the candle on top of it. That's neat. I don't think I've seen that before. Why is it hidden on the bottom shelf? I just don't understand it. All right, what is the stuff that we're looking at now? We've got a mix of like scene setter type cutouts, some bats, stickers, gel clings. It's like a hodgepodge of junk. And like that simple Happy Halloween gel cling merchandise is the stuff that we'd find at the Dollar Tree. There's a bingo card. I almost wish they would just pick some themes and kind of go with them each year. Kind of like how Michael's did. We just did that walkthrough yesterday, and they had like a whole White Witch section where like everything was the white themes. It was amazing. Of course, I didn't buy anything because everything is horrendously expensive, but I'd love to have that level of merchandise at a Party City price point. Clearly, that's probably wishful thinking. It seems like most of the stuff here, Party City, is like paper goods, but just something thematic that could pull a display together would, I think, make a world of difference. Focus on a few things. We've seen hundreds and hundreds of items. If they just sort of kept it focused, maybe it would help the consumer. Here I went in. There are a few things that I'd buy. I like that little tabletop sort of cover there. But by the time I have been assaulted by this entire range of merchandise, I've forgotten all about it by the time I get to the aisle end cap. And of course, now that I'm home, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I'm certainly not thinking I'm going to go back to Party City, make another trip out there, because there's nothing else that I really see that I'd want. I really want to compare it to the merchandise in the other stores, like the Dollar Tree, because that's what I kind of feel like a lot of this stuff looks like. I do like this little eye. That's kind of neat, but what are you supposed to do with that? Just slap it on the wall? It's going to look stupid. All right. This is the one section I think they've done a pretty decent job. This dark academia, it kind of reminds me of that stuff at Michael's that I was talking about earlier that I kind of liked, but it's a small section. At least they put it somewhat close to the front door. Look at all this fun stuff, though. This is kind of like the Spirit Michael's level merchandise, but what's the price point? Looks like I see a clearance thing there, but look, it's more gauze. Okay, so we've got lots of creepy cloth. They're sneaking in some of that junky merchandise with the cool merchandise, and that's where they're going wrong because it dilutes, I think, the value of all the cool merchandise. And look, they put this fun stuff like this skull with the mushrooms and this potion bottle here on the bottom shelf. This stuff should be at eye level. That's like basic store marketing. What are they thinking? They do have some interesting lenticulars, so I appreciate that. The frames are nice. Again, though, I get a lot of my lenticulars from the Dollar Tree every year. I do like that ivy wrapped head, face, skeleton thing. Kind of looks animalistic. Not really sure what was going on with it, though. And a few more interesting items. One piece I absolutely did love was the bust way up at the top again. So they put the nice stuff at the bottom or way up high where even I couldn't reach it, and I'm 6'4". With high blood pressure, this store is going to give me a heart attack. All right, before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining my Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. And that's going to do it. So I will leave you with a view of these masks. Some of them are pretty cool. And again, if you're looking for a Halloween costume, Spirit's kind of pricey. I don't honestly know the pricing of the Party City stuff, but check them out. But not before you check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care, and happy haunting.